Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Um, how are we? I hope we're well. Um, First off, I want to start by saying this video's live and your comments are welcome. And I welcome all criticisms. And I have prepared some notes because I am not as articulate as Gonzo at spouting off everything that I want to say in one sentence, and I don't want to miss anything, and I want to make sure that my feelings about this issue are fully reiterated to yourselves. Um, First off, let me first off by saying I do owe. Oh, damn! That's the that's the power of live videos. I'm afraid I do owe Gonzo a massive, massive apology, and I quite wholeheartedly. And I don't say that because I have to. I say that because I want to. Because sometimes my passions and my um, my mouth does run away with itself. And I know a lot of people that have been watching this channel for a long, long time that do understand. So yes, I don't have to do this. I want to do this. Okay. So let me just read you some of the notes I've made. And as I said before, if you want to comments, and I know people have unsubscribed, and I know people may support Gonzo, and I know people may support and say that they don't want to watch this channel anymore. That's fine, absolutely fine. So let me just read what the notes I've made. Okay, and these are honest. These are just honest notes, right? So I written the notes by saying, first off, I owe a massive Gonzo a massive apology. I am a very passionate person and believe greatly in this great cause. I do believe that Gonzo made some wrong choices on the day, not by his own design, but I do believe he made some wrong choices on the day. He decided to attend the game and go on a national television channel at a game, taking a private tour, while everyone was outside protesting. Um, and he'd covered so many times on his YouTube channel. To the outside view, like to me, it seemed to me that he is exercising do as I say and not as I do attitude. I feel we are, as a YouTube collective, in a very privileged position as people with vast audiences who can get a message out with it becoming stronger and giving a presence to a united front that we talk the talk and walk the walk and can attend vicariously through our actions to get our our message out to the audience by doing and doing as we say. Um, as alluded to in Gonzo's video, we are not friends. We haven't been friends for quite a long time. It didn't start off that way. We have had a few crosswords. I don't want to go into the details of the crosswords, but sometimes that does influence my feelings and my expression towards Gonzo, and maybe it does it in a negative way. Um, I don't make effort to contact him for this reason, because I don't feel like sometimes the effort is respected. I don't have his phone number anymore. I know he might have mine, and that is down to my that's my wrongdoing that I don't have his phone number, and I will be and I will be contacting him since and getting his phone number. I do believe that he has the right to his choice, and his opinion is as expressive as anyone. And I was way out of line to bring public attention to it. I'm sorry to any distress to Gonzo, for uncomfortable feelings of pressure, or anyone who is offended by my stance, and especially to his family and his kids. I will be obtaining Gonzo's number, as I just said, and speaking to him personally, and hope one day we can see eye to eye and share a drink like the old days. And if he does come to a protest, I will quite happily stand hand to hand with him, because I do have a lot of respect for him. Again, I feel sorry for Gonzo, and I'm sorry to any distress caused to his family. Now, I fully take on board everything he said, and I fully do understand. And uh, let me give some context as to what my stance was on the day. I was told by numerous people that Gonzo had walked straight past and felt it. Now, I don't know the ins and outs of it. I don't know where he walked past, but um, yeah, that's what I was told, and it did anger me because I'm someone, as I said before, that feel we are very privileged in our positions as broadcasters of people with vast audiences, and we can get this message across to people that may not hear it through the other bits of social media, that may be able to, attend it vicariously. And I was quite offended that on a day that the protest was going, he decided to attend the ground and not. I do understand there are reasons, and I do understand there are reasons why he would never, ever, 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 ever bring his children down to that. And again, I do apologize. I haven't got much to say apart from that. I am in the wrong. I'm totally in the wrong. I have got no animosity towards Gonzo. I think Gonzo is a very, very talented man. I think his videos and his channel are absolutely um what's the word, a great representation of the fan base, and I believe he speaks very well, and he should have the right to do as he was, and he has been doing his bit greatly on his channel to support the protest. And that was my wrongdoings. I should never have done that. As I said before, I will be contacting Gonzo, and I will take any criticism that comes my way because I deserve it. And I will take your comments. If anyone wants to say anything in the comments, I'll read it out. Good or bad, it doesn't matter. But I'm just saying I was bang out of order, and it won't happen again. I know Gonzo feels like I've attacked him a few times, but as I said, there is a bit of animosity towards him, and sometimes my passion and my bias gets in the way. So, yes, absolutely. I don't want anything else to take this to take the gloss off the protest. I don't want anything else to take the gloss of the good work that everyone done, and I don't want anything to make it seem like this nonsense is overshadowed it. And it's not nonsense from their side; it's nonsense from our side. If you don't, I know Dan's going to be watching this, and Dan will leave a link in the description down below to Gonzo's video, and every point he has made in it is very, very fair. So there we go. If you want to say anything, if you want me to read a comment out, please just let me know. And I don't want to just. Okay. So Matt Rainey says, I'm sorry, I don't mean this to be disrespectful, but we live in a very soft world. It's freedom of speech, regardless if it's positive or negative. It's aggravating how adults are offended by words. I think he's been very, very well within his rights to be offended. It's not offended. It's I'm putting unnecessary pressure on him, and my words and my actions have put unnecessary pressure on him, and that is wrong. It is a free world we live in. The very words you're saying there is freedom of speech. He's got as much freedom of speech to not attend the protest as I has to say that he has to attend the protest. That is his freedom. That is exactly what he is lobbying for, and he's absolutely right. And it was absolutely down to me. Luke McGee says it's fine together and support West Ham, yes, but that includes supporting the owners, and let's get behind the owners for the time being. Whatever people's opinions, time to unite as one. I don't really agree to that, to be honest with you. Matt Rainey says, take me back 40 years ago when people could have a conversation without getting offended and slagging off Gonzo or Nicky. I'm talking in general. No, listen, everyone's entitled to say what they want to say, right? But Gonzo is right. If I wanted to find Gonzo's number, I could have found Gonzo's number somewhere, and we could have had this conversation privately. And that is that's down to me. Well done. Nice apology. Takes a man to stand up and say sorry and hold your hands up. Now we need to focus the stinking ball runners of the club. Absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. But it doesn't take a man to say sorry. It takes a man to bite his tongue in the first place. And I acted appallingly, to be quite honest. Good for getting this out of the way. Let's focus on the real issue, which is the people at the top. Absolutely. Absolutely. As I said before, that this is why I wanted to do this and get this out of the way. And you know, people have said, and I've seen people saying that Gonzo shouldn't have made the video if he didn't want to be called out, blah 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 blah. It's within his right to defend himself, and I want to make this video to say that his video's right, and now we have to move on. We're all fans. We need to stick together towards getting the dwarf and tart out of our club. Absolutely, absolutely. That's absolutely right. Always behind you, Nicky. You've always been a good example for the West Ham community. No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to accept that. That what I did the other day was not a good example of what the West Ham community is. We are not bullies. We are fair and just people. And what I done to Gonzo wasn't fair and just. Can we just admit that openly Hammers chat don't represent the true intentions of the fan base? Not always been 100%. I feel like in most respects they grift as and when. Listen, that's your opinion, and as I say, we're talking about opinions here. But I always think that they do represent the fan base very well. Gio is a guy that, you know, for the most time that I've known him, and he might not be doing it right now. He used to get on a fucking mega bus down from 24 hours or something, you know, round trip to get to a game and then go fucking back for 24 hours. He used to have to leave on a Friday and go back home on a fucking Monday morning. You know, if that doesn't represent the hardcore West Ham fan, I don't know what does. And Gonzo's the same. Gonzo, you know, they run the boats. They you know, they make published content that highlights things like this. They represent it as much as anyone does. So I don't agree with that. Well done, Nicky. Let's not divide us. This is what the board want. Absolutely, absolutely. I've fell into their trap. Paul Warren Taylor says, "All right, Nicky, you're a top bloke. You've always been since Cumberland days. I think you've shown it on this video, let alone a top bloke. You've always been. Well done, mate. Not always, mate. Not always." As Gonzo pointed out, Scott chosen not to boycott the Brentford game. That is his choice. Same as Gonzo's choice not to go to the protest. Gonzo have done a lot to promote the protest and boycott. Let's move on. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You know, we sat there and we spoke about it on post-match pint, about Scott not protesting. Yes, Joe the Hammer says it's a job for Hammer's Chat. They're going to be a bit more diplomatic than channels who do it out of passion. Now, yeah, it is a job, and they've made it their job, and a very good job of it they're doing too. Hammer's Chat is good, says Leo Bell Dyer. I think I don't agree with that either. I think they're magnificent, and I've always thought they're magnificent. They're probably better than us at doing the organised content. That's for sure. Liv says it's all love sometimes. Back and saying, "Oh, not my finest moment is a superpower." We all move on, and it's not my finest moment. And I'm going to be honest, I've done it too many times, and it's not acceptable. Listen, I am going away next week, and I didn't want to go away and leave it like this. Fion Steyer says, "Hammer's Chat the best on the net." That's your opinion, and that's you know, it may not be wrong. It may not be wrong. Billy the Trap says, "Love to you all. To be honest, if West Ham were doing this well, it probably wouldn't have happened. I think everyone's just stressed out right now." Yes, absolutely. Good to see you. Apologise, says Wayne Walters. We need you all's channels to be together. Maybe not agree on everything. Listen, as I said before, and I said at the end of my statement, and I mean it. Me and Gonzo have fell a little bit away from the early days. He said things that I didn't like, and I'm sure I've said things that he didn't like. And it's about time, especially at this time as well, and that I start to understand what they're going through, and they understand what we're going through. And I heard him say that he reached out to me when we got married. I didn't see that message when me and my wife got married. I didn't see that message. Otherwise, I would have responded, and I did appreciate it. And there's been a lot of animosity between me and Gonzo over the years, that's for sure. Just because we differ on the way we feel things should be done. But I don't want to do that anymore. We are, we're 10 years into this, me and Gonzo. They started about the same time as we did, and early days we used to talk a lot. And somewhere along the wayside, it's fell down, and there's animosity, and it shouldn't be like that. And as I said before, I am fully extending my hand out to Gonzo, and I will be contacting him if he wants to take the call or not. And I'm not going to take offense if he doesn't. That's exactly up to him. But yeah, I will be extending my hand out to him, and let's put this shit, uh, under the wayside. To be honest, thank you for the £5, Billy. I will try and get that to someone that needs it, because this video is not about super chats. So please refrain from sending super chats. But thank you very much for that. Remember seeing you at the Sunderland game, and I said hi to you right as you were leaving. I know you just want the best for the club, and you're passionate. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Um, should get Gonzo on the phone in. It would be good to hear you both. I don't think I should get Gonzo on the phone in. I think if he ever wanted me to come on his channel and apologize, I would. But I don't want to try and garner views from it. It's as I said before, I will be reaching out for him personally, and I will be reaching out to him privately. But I just wanted to make my intentions known as we go here. Joe Newman, £5 again. Joe, please refrain from doing that. We're going to try and give these super chats to Iron supporting food banks or something, if you don't mind. I think you and Gonzo are both decent blokes, but West Ham fan TV is a channel for me. That is absolutely fine, and that is what this is all about. It's freedom of speech. Well done, Nicky. We are all West Ham, absolutely. And again, this shows how our club gets us. We are all passionate and have our views. About time the club gives us something to unite over as one. Mr. London says, two wrongs don't make a right, each to their own. You have said sorry, time to move on, and let's all stand united against the shit houses. I'm up for that, mate. If if everyone else is, if you all unite and communicate the same message, supporting one another in a process, we'll have a ball out in no time. You have a voice in the mainstream news media now. Use it. Yes, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I'm going to leave that there then. But thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for understanding. I hope. Let me just take this one. Great to see you over the protest Saturday. I didn't get a chance to say hello. I was singing behind you when you was filming. And it was fantastic to see everyone. But then there we go. And I hope to be saying no more about this. If it's up to Gonzo whether he wants to accept my apology, I'm not going to be offended if he doesn't. As I said before, I will be trying to contact Gonzo, and it's completely up to him whether he wants to take the phone call or not. But there we go. Thank you very much for listening. Once again, one thing left to say. Go on, your hands.